Good morning, everybody. So what we're doing today is we're switching it up. We're pretty much done with the cylinder, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you the next thing you're going to need to know, which is how to find the volume of a cone. So again, just a reminder, you should be sitting there with your notebook out, taking notes on all this, and then of course doing the iReady and Mathia modules that go with it. And then remember, next week you'll be assigned exit tickets about these volume problems as well. So here we go. First problem. So on the screen you'll see a different shape than we've been doing before, and again, this shape, as you probably know, is called a cone. That's pretty much all there is to it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start off exactly like we started off our problems with finding volume of a cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first write the formula first. So for step number one, of a cone is equal to pi r squared h, just like a cylinder, but now you're going to add one more thing. You're going to go ahead and divide everything by 3. So notice that the volume of a cone is the exact same thing as the volume of a cylinder. It's just divided by 3. So step 2, keep things simple. All you're going to do is plug everything in, just like you were doing before. So you're going to get the volume of a cone is equal to pi, which is still 3.14. That hasn't changed. The radius is still halfway across the base, or halfway across the circle if you want to call it that. So the radius they give to us is 2, and remember you're going to square that, which means multiply by itself. The height of our cone, as we can see, is labeled 7, and you're going to divide the whole thing by 3 at the very end. So as far as doing this in your calculator, I guess the thing that you should keep in mind is that do everything a little bit step by step. So don't try to do everything at once, because a lot of calculators don't have order of operations capability very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my calculator, and I'm going to do 3.14 times 2 times 2 again, because remember it's squared, times 7, and then I'm going to press the equals button. So right now I'm going to have 87.92, that's my numerator, and then I'm going to divide by 3. And again, the reason I do that is because a lot of calculators don't understand order of operations. So make sure you multiply everything in the numerator first, press the equals button, and then press divided by 3. And so then you're going to get 29.3. And it just goes on 29.306666 on and on. But I'm just going to round it to the 10th place for today because there's no specific instructions otherwise. And I'm going to put the units on it. That's in cubic feet. And that's it. Finding volume of a cone is exactly the same thing really as finding volume of a cylinder. That's all there is to it. So let's do this one too. And by the way, I know I've said this a million times before, but please, please, please make sure you pause the video and work these out on your own before you actually look at how I did it. So for example, right now, you should probably pause the video and then unpause me when you're ready to see if you did it correctly. So again, I have volume of a cone, and that's going to be equal to pi r squared h divided by 3. So I'm going to plug things in, and I'm going to get 3.14 times my radius, which is actually going to be 12. And remember, the reason it's 12 is because here they give me the diameter. They give me all the way across the base or all the way across the circle. And I only need half of that. I only need the radius, right? And I'm going to have my height, which is 26. And I'm going to divide that by 3 at the very, very end. So let's go ahead and do this in the calculator. I have 3.14 times 12 times 12 times 26. I'm going to press the equals button in my calculator, and I'm going to get 11,765. Oops, I wrote that wrong. Let me erase this. It's actually not correct. That's going to be 11,756.16, and then I'm going to divide that by 3. So again, find the numerator first, then press equals, then press divided by 3. And what I'm going to get is 3,918 0.7, and the units on this is going to be in cubic millimeters. I'll box that off, and there's my answer. All right, so here's a little bit of a challenge problem. If you think you know what you're doing, try it on your own. Pause the video, work it out. Otherwise, if you need a little bit of help, let me just point out that this is a composite figure. So they give you both a cylinder and a cone, and they stick them together. You're going to do this. You're going to find the volume of the cylinder, and you're going to find the volume of the cone, and you're going to add them together. And that's all there is to it. Just find the volume of the cylinder, find the volume of the cone, add them together. So the volume of the cylinder, and I'm going to rewrite both the formulas to remember them. That's going to be pi r squared h. The volume of the cone is pi r squared h divided by 3. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug things in, and I'm going to get, well, that's 3.14. That doesn't change. The radius of the cylinder, I'm going to look up here, all the way across the cylinder, all the way across the base, the circle is 8 feet. So half of that is 4. I'm going to square it, and the height of my cylinder give to me as 4 feet. And I'll put that in the calculator in a second. Let me just keep setting up the problem. So volume of a cone is going to be 3.14. The radius does not change. So notice that this is all the way across up here. Well, this is all the way across up here. So that doesn't change. So all the way across is still 8. The diameter is still 8, which means the radius, of course, is still going to be 4. And then the height, that does change. Notice the height of the cone is different. It's only 5 feet, not 4 feet like in the cylinder. And then we're going to divide that by 3. All right, so I'm going to put everything in my calculator. And I'm going to get, let's see, 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 4. That's 3 4s. And I'm going to get 200.96. So I'm going to write 200.96. Now, I'm actually not going to round this yet. Remember, you really only round on the last step, if anything. And again, I'm probably going to round to the nearest tenth because it doesn't give me any specific instructions otherwise. So for my cone, I'm going to have 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 5. I'm going to press the equals button in my calculator, and then I'm going to divide by 3. Okay, and I should have, and let me just double check that I did this because my finger kind of slipped a little bit, 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 5, and then divided by 3. Yep, I did it right, and it's going to be 83.7. Let's go with 83.7. And it actually continues its 333 repeating. So in my calculator, I'm just going to add these together, add the 296 that I got. And my calculator is telling me that the answer is 284.6933369. So I'm going to round the 6 up to 7. And that's going to be in cubic feet. And that's it. It's a composite figure, so just find it separately and then add it together at the very end. That's all you got to do. So remember, all this was added to get the final answer. All right, this is another composite figure. Now, I'm not going to work this one out for you. In fact, I'm not going to work out any of the other problems for you. What I'm going to ask you to do is to go ahead, pause the video on each of them, try to work them out on your own. All I'm going to point out for you is that here, this is a composite figure. So here you have a cone here, a cone there. So just for initial setup, if I were you, I'd label it volume of, maybe I'll call it C1, cone number 1, and volume of C2, cone number 2. It doesn't matter which one's which. I mean, you could label this one over here cone 1 plus cone 2. You could do it backwards. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're adding them together anyways. You're getting the exact same answer. So if you get stuck on these problems or if you don't understand something about them, please, please, please post a message in Google Classroom with a picture of your work. And so if you do that, then what I can do is either post another video or I can just post a picture of my work so you can see what I did, and I can point out anything that you did right or anything that you did wrong to help you out. So again, the last couple slides, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few pictures up of some other practice problems. Again, this would be volume of cone 1 plus volume of cone 2. Stay on this for a few seconds so you can pause the video, work it out on your own. Here's another one. This is another composite figure. So we see a cone and a cylinder, just like the one that I finished working out a few minutes ago. Here's a simple cone for you. Make sure you can do this one. And another cone for you. Nice simple cone. All right, so that's going to end the lesson for today. That's all I have for you. What I would ask that you do, again, is work out all the problems on your own, take notes, and just as a reminder, please make sure you're doing your Mathia and your iReady. Administration was talking to me a little bit earlier yesterday about the fact that some of you have not been on anything yet. But I did want to say congratulations and thank you to those of you that are doing your work as you've been assigned. Remember, the third 9 weeks is ending soon. I'll be wrapping up the grades within the next day or two. And then, of course, once we start the fourth 9 weeks, remember, we're going to be out of school at least until April the 15th. So it's important that in order to get the grade, you're doing your iReady, your Mathia, your notes, just like you're doing with me, and then, of course, your exit tickets, which I'll be posting soon as well. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you all later.